right?
Yeah. And truth be told, I mean, look, email marketing's unsexy. There's nothing sexy about it. Everybody wants to know what the latest social media hack is or Facebook ad hack or whatever. Like nobody cares about email marketing, right?
Hmm.
Until they realize that, hey, there's money in email marketing. If I do this
Yeah.
thing right, it's going to blow the others out of the water, right? But what's funny is that they'll get busy for 3 weeks and I'll do my check-ins and things of that nature. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I was working on this sequence and won't even talk about the ConvertKit thing. But then all of a sudden they'll come up for air and there'll be like a sprint for a week and a half. And
Hmm.
they'll try to they're like, look, I've got some time in between projects or, there's a lull period for me in the season and whatever the case is. And they just go. And, part of the selling point is it's like, you have me in your back pocket. When you
Yeah.
need me, I'm there. Right. So it just
And
makes it that much easy. Like people need, especially with something that is as technical as automation and
yes.
personalization and segmentation, people need, that, hey, I need another pair of eyes to make sure that I'm doing this the right way.
I'm glad you brought that point up. That's where I wanted to go next, and kind of take it back to how you have sort of really just branded yourself around ConvertKit, the tool. I just think that's a really smart strategy in general as a coach and consultant to like that's a built-in large audience and they're great clients, great type of people to work with, right? But like you said, like I think folks might wonder like, well, why wouldn't someone just contact like ConvertKit's customer support for these types of questions? And I've used ConvertKit, I've used Drip, Active Campaign. I currently use Customer IO. Like they're all sort of different, but they all sort of do the same things more or less. But they are,
Syntax.
yeah, but they are very complicated and technical to use. And it's not so much like yeah, I could contact their customer support just to get an understanding of like what does this button do? um, you know, how does this data export work or whatever that might be. But what I always sort of wanted from those companies, and they never really gave it to me, was like, what am I doing here? Am I setting this up correctly, or am I really, or I'm making it way harder on myself and my subscribers, or what's the best strategy here? And there's a lot of like programming logic that goes into email marketing automation, even though the users might not actually be writing code. You're talking about like if this then that,
Mm-hmm.
delays and stops and things like that, like tracking events, and there's a lot of technical stuff, and then integrating Zapier to your website, to
Right.
the
Yeah, that's
purchase
a
flow,
whole nother
all this
thing. Yeah.
different stuff. Like it gets pretty complex really quickly. So like again, the standard support channels from any of these companies can sort of point you to a help doc, but it takes like a business consultant to be like, all right, here's what you really want to do here.
Right. And that's where it comes down to. Like they're great with the app support. They know the app. Like they know,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this is what you need to do. These are the buttons you need to click. This is what you need to, the screen that you need to go into. But and this is, sounds very similar to your experience, is like when you try to inject your business reasons for doing the things that you're doing, then everything goes sideways. They're like, okay, I'll be back in 20 minutes, like, or
Yep.
whatever, right? From the chat. That's where I come in because one, I've been doing email marketing like you. I've on Drift for a long time. I dabbled in Active Campaign. I've used just about every ESP that's out there at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I I mean, the methodology works, and I've been doing this
Mm-hmm.
for such a long time now that, like I know how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together in the big picture. And what I've learned, at least from my audience, is that they understand the puzzle pieces, but they don't have the picture,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they want to know where the pieces go of that puzzle. And so that's where I come in, right? Like, hey, if you're selling digital products, this is the kind of things that we want to build. If you're selling a high ticket coaching program, then this is the kind of things that we need to build. If you're building a membership website, these are the kinds of things that you need to build, right? So
Yeah.
aspects of it. Like they kind of know, like if you're building a membership site, like, okay, I got to build proper onboarding. And then how do I build the retention strategy into that? Like, what does that look like? And
Yeah.
all of the things like, and then how do I launch this thing? And how do I market it in an ongoing way?
Well,
Or, like all of those things. And so that's where the value of what ConvertKit Coach gives you is that it's my experience coming to the table, working with folks like, Pat Flynn and SPI and all of these other, Justin Welsh's and all of those kind of folks. I mean, I've been doing this long enough that I see what works and doesn't work. And then that's when people are like, hey, if he's doing it for them, maybe he can help me do it for me.
sure. Hey, just a quick break to tell you about Clarityflow. It's the software tool loved by coaches and their clients for communicating asynchronously in threaded conversations using video, audio, or text. My team and I designed Clarityflow for the modern day coach. It lets you give clients a single place to engage with you and all that you offer through your coaching business. Run coaching groups, cohorts, and communities using our Spaces feature. Create interactive courses using our Programs feature. Build your coaching library with templates and reusable content. And sell access to your coaching programs with subscriptions or one-time payments. Customize colors and connect your domain to give clients a fully branded experience. You can use Clarityflow on the web or our mobile apps for iPhone, iPad, or Android. And connect any other apps using our Zapier integration. Start with a free trial or request a personalized demo and consultation by going to clarityflow.com. I mean, that also brings up another good question here, which is, okay, so again, I think it's really interesting how you focus in on ConvertKit users, but like you just said, like a ConvertKit user is going to be connecting ConvertKit to their website, to their shopping cart, to their membership platform, to maybe Clarityflow. We have a ConvertKit integration too, right? Like and so like, do you naturally get pulled into advising and consulting on like those
100%.
other tools as well?
100%.
Like,
yeah. I mean,
it's like they come to you for ConvertKit, but then you're putting all the integrations together for them.
I mean, truth be told, there's a percentage of my ConvertKit coach clients that don't use ConvertKit. Like, I have an Infusionsoft, client. I have, a drip client. And so like the methodology around the business is the same. It's just, as a developer, I developed in Java, Ruby on Rails, PHP. It's all syntax. If you understand the structures and the methods and things of that nature around programming, well, you can just learn the syntax. The syntax is there. So I apply that same logic with tools, right? And so I went from drip to ConvertKit. There's differences, there's similarities, there's nuances, things like that. And then, hey, what do we need, right? Like, do we need deadline funnel? Do we need Zapier to integrate with Airtable? Do we need Circle? But we need all these things. And my experience comes in to that. I mean, that's part of the big ball of wax, so to speak, is like when we're building out the strategy of what you're doing, like what pieces of the puzzle do we need to tie back? And in my philosophy is that your email list is your core database. Everything that somebody does with your business needs to be in there, because then you can leverage that and make your engagement in the emails and their inbox hyper personalized to them. You know that they've been in your membership site for 2 months and they never logged in. Send them a campaign to get them logged in. Otherwise, what are they paying for, right?
So, and again, like that's like the difference between just going to the standard support channels, because like their support, like whatever, like I might email customer IO support, but like they can only help me with customer IO. They're not going to help me with how these events are firing into my Rails app, or how it's integrating with my other CRM over here, right? Like, but that's where someone like you can actually, put all these pieces together.